So the other day I made a post on Facebook and I wanted to kind of get what you guys had to say about this topic. So I had posted and I said, what is something that you struggle with? I want to help you in my next YouTube video. So I was actually pretty interested to see kind of what everyone had to say, and honestly a lot of people had the same thing to say. I mean, if we go on Facebook here and look at some of the comments that people had said, it starts off with anxiety, living in the past, not accepting the present, anxiety and self-love, feeling sad at times with no explanation. I mean, really the list kind of goes on. A lot of it's self-love and self-confidence, and you know, this jackass said getting out of bed when it's cold. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think about this kind of stuff quite a bit. I mean, I can't lie. I mean, I think about the same kind of stuff a lot too. You know, in like today's world, I mean, there's just so many factors that kind of come into play. I mean, it could be, you know, you're not sleeping enough, you're not eating enough. I mean, you might be dependent on caffeine, drinking a lot of coffee. I mean, some people smoke cigarettes and nicotine, and you know, you need that nicotine fix really to, you know, get your mind right. So I mean, there's a lot of factors that come into play, but I mean, personally, I think a lot of it has to do with social media. I mean, for instance, I mean, we could start on Facebook. I mean, my God, there's so many different things on Facebook that, I mean, it could trigger so many different things. I mean, it's like you could sit here and scroll on Facebook. Okay, like with this video, for example, I mean, I could be like, oh yeah, like, you know, I lift, but I can't lift that much. It's just stupid shit like that. Yeah, I mean, you can get on Facebook and like you can see like people's like relationships on there and people posting it all the time. Like we all know people that do that all the time. Like they post like,
oh, my sweetheart just looking so cute today. You know, it's just adorable.
Relationships. That can make you depressed too, just seeing it all the time. I mean, like people in your face like all the time about, you know, just picture perfect, you know, happy, going on vacation, that kind of stuff. Like, if you can't stand seeing it, get off, like, for a little while. Like, you gotta take yourself a little break. You know, you get on Facebook, you just start seeing stuff, and you're just like, I'm really lonely. Like, when am I actually going to find someone that's, you know, gonna love me for me, you know? It's a big ass world, lonely ass Chandler. I mean, what is this? But honestly, like seeing all that kind of stuff, like you gotta know, like that's 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, it's not all that happy. It's not at all. A lot of the times, like, I mean, shoot, they could be fighting and they're posting all this stuff to happier times. You know, you kind of see what I'm kind of trying to say. Like, I don't know. It just, don't believe everything you see online. Like, it's not what it means. It's not what it is said to be. Like, there's so much more stuff out there that you have no idea. Like, no, not at all. You know, you might also get on Facebook or Instagram or something and see people posting positive stuff like every single day. I mean, don't get me wrong, like that's great. But that doesn't mean that they're happy either. So again, you might see someone posting a bunch of positive things, but you know, they might be broken just because they're dealing with the situation right now and they're trying to just make other people happy. Either that or they're portraying as they're happy or faking it till they make it. At least that they're trying, but again, like on your end, it doesn't mean that they're happy, so don't like believe that they're happy. I don't know, like I could be completely wrong. I could be the dumb shit right, you know, right here, sitting here telling you this, but I don't believe it. I don't. I picked 5 things that I kind of want to talk about today. We're just gonna kind of like break them down and talk more in depth about them and how to kind of work on them. And that was basically the whole point of this video. So talking about anxiety, the first thing is self-awareness. So you have to know like where your triggers start and come up with a plan to get away from that. So again, if it is social media, like you might not see it or, you know, be like, oh yeah, like social media is a problem. if you're getting on Facebook and you're looking at stuff and you see happy relationships, or it's the stuff I was talking about, and you think, oh my gosh, like why can't I be this happy, or like why can't I have this car, like they're so lucky, that's where it starts. Like you really got to just be self-aware of where it's coming from, you know, and honestly, if you start kind of seeing that pattern, you got to have a path to get out, get off that trail, because again, it's just gonna keep spiraling and just like you're feeding it. I would say if you want to get away from that kind of stuff, I would say pick up a book, go on a walk, go to the gym, start something new that you haven't done before, or even just start a project that you've been putting off for a while. I mean, I think that getting yourself in a new routine can really change a lot more than what you think. Go clean or like go work out. That's my biggest thing. I actually started working out about 3 months ago, and I mean, I put on 30 pounds since I started working out, and actually like I feel pretty good. Like I actually enjoy going. I feel like my days aren't complete if I don't go anymore. You know, my biggest thing now is I still am on my phone quite a bit, so it's like I need to step away from that. But my biggest thing is that I know that I need to do is start meal prepping more and cleaning up and like picking up my room. I mean, you can see my bed isn't even made. Like it, you know, it's just small things like that. Like I know that I can do to stray away from my anxieties and my depression. Long story short, know your triggers and step away. Start something new like working out, or start a project that you haven't done before, or something that you've been putting off for a while. So moving on to the second one, I picked struggling with the past and letting go. So a couple questions that I kind of came up with is to ask yourself is, who does this involve? How long am I going to sit here and think about this? Can this get better? And is it still a part of my life? So probably one of the biggest things that I struggled with for a long time is my dad passing away. It's been a year. It seems like 10, but it seems like a couple days has went by. I struggled with moving forward and trying to get up and just want to do anything really in life, to be honest. You know, I stopped working out completely. Like I stopped just going up and going to get coffee in the morning. Like I used to go to the coffee shop every morning just to, you know, interact with some friends that, you know, just that work there. You just start losing yourself. That comes in with those questions that I was saying a second ago, is like, who does this involve, and like how long am I going to sit here and think about this? Like, you know, yes, it involved my dad. Like it was very traumatic and it was very tough to move through. He did pass away, and that was the biggest thing. It's like, you know, how long am I going to sit here and think about this? Like I had to ask myself some real questions in that time. You know, again, it's been a year and 3 months now, you know, that everything's kind of went by, and I don't know, I'm just not the same person that I was last year. I started working out, you know, I started doing my music again. I mean, even doing this, like even doing YouTube, like I never could see myself doing it. Like I used to do it when I was a kid, but I just kind of lost myself because I had anxiety and depression, you know. And then and asking yourself too is like, can this get any better? Is this still a part of my life? Yes, anything can get better in time, no matter what. Like I mean, it could be again, like with me losing my dad, like yes, it sucked. Like yes, it still sucks. Like I still think about him, but it's not as bad. Like it's like I have completely not moved on, but it's like I'm okay with it. Like there's, you know, there's nothing I could do. Like if there was a way to bring him back, of course I would, but I cannot sit there and think like, oh my gosh, there has to be a way. There is not. I just have to keep moving forward and keep him in my thoughts and just keep moving. Like that's it. Like you gotta pick yourself up and start going, because life is not gonna stop for you, and you just have to be real with yourself. So we're gonna move from that one to number 3, which is living in the past, not the present. So this is different than, I think, struggling in the past and letting go. It's like you're stuck in a situation, and like obviously like you're still here today, but like your mind is still back there, like still trying to process things. It's like you realize you're here today, but it's like time is still moving and you want it to stop to like deal with that situation, and it just seems like time's moving fast, but it's like in your mind is still moving slow. Does that make any sense? I don't know, the best thing that I can really come up with to like really work on that, or just something, you know, like some advice that I could say about that is like, look, like you're here today, like you're here to still deal with that situation, and there are going to be steps to get through it, and you need to tell yourself like, you know, I might not have it figured out like right now, but there is a way to get out of it, no matter what it is. Like, you know, I think to every problem there's a solution. Like, it's just it's just time. Like, that's your biggest enemy. I mean, it could be, you know, in your favor. Like, definitely, I don't know. It's just, you just gotta look at every situation that you have in life and just really like try to learn from it, no matter what it is. You know, it's like, life isn't a race, but when are you gonna cross that finish line for yourself to end that problem? It might just be telling yourself like, hey, look, like it's in the past, it's done, you know, it sucks, but you can't sit in that puddle like your whole life. You cannot. So the next one is self-love. So when I thought about self-love, like I thought like the problems that would come with it, or problems about it would be, you know, beating yourself up and not being good enough, always in competition with that person in your mind, and you know, like your mind is always trying to tell you like,
oh Chandler, you should be the greatest YouTuber in the world, like, you know, why aren't you? Like, you are the best, you know?
And then the other half of your mind is like,
no, you're garbage, like sit the fuck down, like, you suck.
But you know, it's just like, when you back up and ask yourself like, you know, why can't I be? You know, it's like, if I mean, me making videos, like if it makes me happy and I feel like I'm actually doing something in a positive way, or I just think it's funny, like, why not? This is me talking to you. Everything that I'm reading right now is off of kind of all my thoughts and feelings on things. You know, I'm not pulling them off sites like I was going to. Like I was gonna kind of, you know, use some other people's advice, but honestly, it's coming straight from me. I don't know, it's a tough world to really like be anything in. Like, it's so easy to beat yourself up. You can look at things and be like, oh, you know, I'm not this, I'm not that, like, I don't have this, you know, my job sucks and theirs is great. Like, it's so easy to do that. And I think so many of us actually do that so much that we actually believe it. Like, I never thought I can get back into YouTube. I really, even with me now, it's like I post videos like maybe once every couple months. Like, I tell myself like I'm going to a lot, but I just don't. At least I'm doing it. Does that make it, you know, it's like, I have to give myself love for doing that. Like, I'm stepping back into what I enjoy doing. It's hard, you know, really being yourself and being open about it. I mean, that's like the biggest thing about doing these videos right now. It's like, I'm actually like telling you more about me than I do some close fan, like just anybody really. Again, I just hope with self-love that you just start trying to give yourself some credit. Like, doing the things that you love doing and not being afraid to do it. People are always gonna judge you no matter what. Like, even if me posting this video, somebody's gonna be like,
damn, like what a sensitive snowflake. Like, go back to the garden, you flower.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm a very like emotional person. Big fucking whoop. But like I said, it's just, I think that also just separates me from a lot of other people. I mean, some people just don't care at all, and I care a lot. So it balances itself out, you know? So number 5 is grieving a lost loved one. Again, this is gonna be my last one for today. Again, this video is kind of stretching pretty long, but if you guys really do like this, I mean, I'd love to do more. So just give me some honest feedback of what you really think, or how I can improve my videos and stuff like that, just so I can get the best content out there for you. Losing someone dear to you, or even just like crossing paths with someone, is very hard. Like, I mean, with my job that I do personally, like I deal with, you know, people passing all the time. I mean, I could see them today and then by next week, they're gone. I mean, it hits home quite a bit. So in the span of not even like 10 years, like I've lost 3 of the most important people in my life. Both my great grandparents, which I lived with them for about 18 to 19 years. and then my dad that passed away unexpectedly last year. But with dealing with all three of those like great losses like that, honestly is like opened up some of the highest highs and some of the lowest lows in a positive and a negative way. I mean, I'd say I'm actually more willing to do more things now that I haven't done before. I mean, with all these losses that I've had, like, it's actually taught me to let go of some things, like my anxieties, for example. I mean, it's like, you know, just go out and, you know, try that new thing that I've been wanting to do because I've never done it before. I don't know, it's just made me like let go of my fears and actually try new things, or like do things I've just never done before, because it's like, you know what, like you live once, so try to look at it as like a positive thing. I mean, yes, it still hurts, and like I get that like completely, and you know, kind of go at your own pace with that grieving process. Try to look at that as like a positive at the same time, like just see how it kind of changes you and shapes you into a better person later down the road. But yeah, I mean, like some of the lows that I was talking about, it's like, you know, it's kind of shown me like the realness of the world, like how dark it can be. But at the same time, like I've changed to be more positive and be a little bit more careless about the things that I do, you know, like in a positive way. So I don't know, I mean, again, it's both good and bad. I really think that everything, like, I mean, shoot, you can make a lot of money, but then the negative thing is like you gotta pay a lot of taxes, or like, you know, you might have a great job, but like you might be having to work crazy hours for that job. You know, it's always a plus and a negative for something, you know? So that's what I'm trying to teach myself, and I'm trying to teach to you, because it might stick to you a little bit quicker than me. But again, I mean, I can't stress enough, like, no matter what situation you're in, it could be like the losing of a loved one, just try to look at it as a positive way. I mean, you still have life, and you can share those stories about that person, and you know, if they were very positive in your life, try to take some positivity that they shined in you and shine on somebody else. Any test and trial and life lesson that life hands you, just do your best to learn from it. You can pick up a hot cup of coffee, you might pick it up by the mug, but I mean, if you pick it up here and it scorches your hand, I mean, I could bet you the next time you're gonna grab it by the handle. But yeah, like my grandpa was a very hardworking man. I mean, he worked, you know, down to the bone with anything that he did. He always saved pieces to fix things. He always was kind of being creative and make things at home, exactly like how my dad was. Like, they were both hands-on guys. Like, they would just like, you know, do construction, rework things, remodel things, like, you know, refurbish anything. And the same thing with my dad. Like, he was an artist. He was in music and sang, and just, I don't know, the man never stopped working. They really both kind of taught me to just strive for things and make it your own path. I've had to dig myself out of I don't know how many holes lately. And I mean, in the past year and a few months, like, you know, this is one of the times like I'm really trying to resurface myself, like just even being in a YouTube video for once again. So, you know, my grandma, like, she was one of the sweetest women in the world, like always nice to any stranger that walked by. Didn't matter if she's even, they were mean to her or rude, like she would be like, okay, have a good day. Like, it didn't matter. So just kind of think about like where you're at right now. Like, think about that person. You know, I would not try to bottle it up. It really doesn't help anything. You know, allow yourself a grieving time, but put an end to it at some point. Like, you know, you just have to say like, look, like, when am I gonna step forward? You can't stay seated in one area. It's all about taking the step and keep moving. But yeah, if you did enjoy this, I mean, in all honesty, like, just give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'm gonna try to, you know, keep making videos like this. And if you guys have any suggestions, or if you like this kind of video, give me some feedback on it. Let me know if I should keep doing them or what I should do next. With that being said, thanks again for watching, guys. It's good to start making more positive changes, so I really plan on trying to make more positive changes for the longer term. So thank you guys again for watching, and bye.